Just recently, Ford opened its Cologne Electric Vehicle Center, part of the automaker's push for its passenger vehicle range to be all-electric in Europe by 2030. The new factory will only make battery electric automobiles reportedly. The facility, which was founded in 1930, apparently marks a $2 billion investment in the transformation of the old plant. With this, what prompted them to make such a huge move? Welcome to Evolutionary. Stay until the end as we are going to find out what Ford is thinking about changing its plants to all EVs. Ford's beginnings can be traced back to 1930. On January 19, 1930, the Ford company has ordered Edwin Corner, an architect, to begin the construction of quays and workshops at a total cost of $1 million. Since then, the facility produced over 18 million cars since opening its doors, including the Ford Model A, Taurus, Capri, Granada, and Fiesta. Ford cuts 3,800 jobs in Europe. However, Ford has a new commitment to offer an all-electric lineup in Europe by 2035 and plans to begin production of its first European-built electric vehicle later this year. This resulted in Ford's plans to cut 3,800 jobs across Europe over the next 3 years in order to streamline operations and adapt to economic challenges and increase competition in the electric car market. The majority of the job cuts will occur in Germany and the United Kingdom. The company aims to achieve a more competitive cost structure through voluntary separation programs and intends to reduce engineering positions while maintaining a focus on electric vehicle development. These job cuts reflect the broader shift in the automotive industry toward electric vehicles, driven by government initiatives to reduce emissions and the resulting competition among automakers. Ford acknowledges the difficulty of these decisions and assures affected employees of its full support during the transition. Additionally, Ford previously announced job cuts in North America and plans to build a factory in Michigan for the production of lower-cost batteries for electric vehicles. Ford EV Center. With that new commitment, finally in June, Ford Motor Company inaugurated the Cologne Electric Vehicle Center, a production facility that will manufacture electric passenger vehicles for the European market. This milestone comes after a remarkable $2 billion investment to revamp the historic meal plant. Spanning 125 hectares, the site features a brand new production line, battery assembly facilities, automation, and tooling. Its annual production capacity exceeds 250,000 EVs a year. The first car to be produced at the plant is Ford's new all-electric Explorer made exclusively for Europe. The company is building the crossover SUV built on top of Volkswagen MEB platform as its fourth electric vehicle behind the Mustang Mach-E, E-Transit, and F-150 Lightning. A sports crossover is scheduled to be the second electric vehicle produced at the plant. Last year, the company said its plans to offer 7 new electric car models in Europe, including 3 passenger vehicles and 4 commercial vehicles by 2024. In total, it hopes to sell over 600,000 EVs across the continent by 2026. Carbon-neutral plant. Opening the Cologne EV Center is the start of a new generation of clean manufacturing and electric vehicles in Europe. This facility will now be one of the most efficient and environmentally responsible plants in the entire industry. I am thrilled to continue working toward a zero-emissions future for our children and grandchildren, said Bill Ford, Ford Executive Chairman. Ford is describing the facility as its first carbon-neutral assembly plant globally and says it hopes to be carbon neutral across its European facilities, logistics, and direct suppliers by 2035. The obvious comparison for Ford's electric-focused German assembly plant is Tesla's Berlin Gigafactory, which officially opened in March 2022. Tesla reportedly spent around $5.3 billion on the plant and was granted approval to produce up to 500,000 electric vehicles per year at the facility. As of the end of February, the factory was celebrating the production of 4,000 Model I cars each week, which would translate to a little over 200,000 cars per year. How exactly does Ford achieve a carbon-neutral automotive plant? Ford has ensured the Cologne EV Center will use only carbon-neutral energy. To achieve carbon neutrality, Ford will reduce the use of energy and emissions in the plant by the installation of new processes, machinery, and technologies. All electricity and natural gas required to operate the facility will be from 100% certified renewable electricity and biomethane. Ford also works with local energy providers to offset the corresponding plant heating emissions. The heat is generated by an external power plant and waste incineration plant and provided through a dedicated steam network to Ford. The technological upgrade of the Ford Cologne EV Center is accompanied by an ecological improvement of biodiversity and the ecological balance of the existing factory green space. Installed measures include a new perennial for vegetation, change of ecologically poor grass areas to wildflower meadows and insect hotels, as well as bat and bird habitats. For clarity, Ford says its plant isn't 100% carbon neutral just yet, though it expects full carbon neutrality by 2035. Emissions will be reduced by 60% in 2026. Once fully operational, Ford Cologne's EV Center will be independently certified as carbon neutral. This independent certification will be audited and reconciled on a regular basis against purchasing high-quality carbon offsets for any remaining emissions. Revamping the Cologne plant will allow Ford to push well beyond the 18 million vehicles produced there since 1931. Competing for sales supremacy in Europe, especially EV sales, is no small feat with brands like Volkswagen and Tesla dominating the market. But with competitive models currently available and more planned, Ford is attempting to save its traditionally popular place within Europe. The first all-electric Ford Explorer will leave the factory floor before the end of 2023. The carbon-neutral Cologne EV Center is a leading automotive industry showcase for the switch from traditional auto manufacturing to electric vehicle production. Included Martin Sander, General Manager of Ford Model Europe. The facilities and processes have been designed by our engineers to maximize efficiency and minimize environmental impact, helping Ford become carbon neutral in Europe and supporting our global decarbonization plan. Ford's latest update. As for Ford, it always tries its best to become one of the auto leaders. There is recent news about Ford, which is Ford and its South Korean partner SK have secured a conditional loan of $9.2 billion from the U.S. Department of Energy to support the production of EVs in the United States. The loan is part of President Joe Biden's efforts to boost EV production and will be utilized by their joint venture, Louisville SK, to construct 3 EV battery plants in Kentucky and Tennessee. Ford's previous announcement outlined a total investment of $11.4 billion in the project, which includes the battery plants and an electric truck factory. The loan, if fully utilized, would be the largest sum granted under the Advanced Technology Vehicles Manufacturing Loan Program. It is expected to create thousands of construction jobs and approximately 7,500 permanent positions. The loan is aligned with Biden's goal of achieving 50% of new vehicle sales as EVs by 2030. What do you think about Ford's effort in implementing carbon neutral? Is this the right strategy for Ford? Share with us your thoughts in the comments section below. Give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more EVs updates weekly.